All right, Spider-Man.
Right in here is where they do some reptile experiments.
Wow.
They're doing an experiment where they test to see if disturbing the eggs causes early hatching.
Ah.
Because they found in some species of turtles that if you mess with them, it can cause them to hatch early. So
I see.
that's what's going on in there. So we won't go in there because, you know, we don't want to do any
Yeah,
disturbing or whatever they got going in there.
Gotta keep the control right. Perfect. That's really, really cool.
Yep.
You know, and some people, like, at first when they see, you know, a bunch of boxes full of animal homies, their first thing is to think negatively.
Right.
You know, like, oh, they're in jail. Like, that's not right. But, you know, and that's why I like to bring attention to stuff like this, because if we weren't doing this, then we wouldn't know how to address the turtle homies,
exactly.
you know, or any of the other homies. You know, this is how we learn and how we know how to adjust our human footprints,
and
so to speak.
especially with overdevelopment and stuff. If we're disturbing areas, we can cause early hatching of specific species and cause that population to go down.
Absolutely.
And I believe most of the animals that they work with are native, and any that are not native will go back to the breeders in the homes to where they came from. So
very cool.
It's not like your typical like testing lab that people think. We're not like testing on them and then they're going to die or anything like that. Everything here
it's not like
comes in safe and then leaves
chimpanzees.
safe. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, absolutely. That's kind of why I was wanting to touch up on that.
Right.
You know, so people can understand that there is a big difference between what you're doing in here versus what a pharmaceutical company might be doing with some chimps.
Well, USF's
never know.
St. Pete's master's degree program is wildlife biology and conservation.
Wow.
So all of the biology students that are going to work with wildlife are moving towards the conservation side of what their research is about.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that's the reptile section. And
have you noticed, since, you know, it's been over a decade since I've been in college, have you noticed an increase in the enrollment in biology students, particularly conservation? You know, because it sure feels like it on social media that people are just genuinely more into it. Right. We're all in, we're just not all informed.
The only downside I see, which was good for me, bad for other people, is and not that caring about the ocean is a bad thing, but like the marine field is getting very inundated. Everybody, you know, they want to save the coral and they want to save the wildlife, and they forget that, you know, insects and arachnids and reptiles are just as important to the ecosystem as the marine life as well. So you're getting this huge influx of students who want to study coral or marine life, and we have a lot of students that are here to do it. And I am the only one on campus who study spiders. On all three USF campuses, because we have Tampa and Sarasota. I'm the only one. I believe I'm the only one who's going to end up sticking with entomology and teaching it here and stuff like that. You know,
but that's why Captain Planet's here, because it's that cool. You know, I'll admit, you know, a lot of my work in Florida has been very ocean related. But that was particularly because I was working on the reef and lived out in the Keys.
Yeah, I saw what you were doing. You made
there's not a whole lot of you know, that is our ecosystem out there. You know, but if you've noticed, I've taken quite a big of a shift since coming on mainland, because I do notice that, you know, everybody's very conscious about saving the ocean, but they don't realize they need to save the very soil they're standing on. Right. You know, so I also bring in the agriculture, and I bring in the swamps and the forest and the Everglades. And
it's just terrible.
Absolutely.
And again, getting the message across that, you know, saving the ocean is extremely important for our oxygen and for having a healthy ecosystem. But all the other animals are just equally important. So that's why these little guys right here, you know, making sure that whatever we're doing to the environment is not going to
they depend on the ocean, but the ocean also depends on them.
Exactly.
You know, it's a big balancing act. It is. It's a beautiful balancing act. Very awesome.
Yes.
What do you think? What's next?
Well, we can go check out the spider room next.
Cool. I'll make it a whole separate video.